Good morning, friends. It's Joe. Welcome to my animal spirituality video for Monday, September the 9th. Hope you're doing well on this Monday morning, start of the week. A very positive outlook is right in front of us. Today, we are going to continue our journey through the prayer of St. Francis. It's part 3, and I'm excited and happy to be with you. I think we've had, at least I hope you agree, I think we've had some positive time together on the prayer of St. Francis so far. Today, we are going to launch right in with the phrases that start with, where there is darkness, light. Where there is darkness, light. When we are in complete darkness, it's a time of fear. Fear is always the unknown, and fear is something that is not necessary most of the time, but it does grip us, right? And darkness can give us fear. Now, in almost every situation, there is some light in the darkness, but we have a focus on the darkness, and that is where we remain usually, right? If you're in a dark room, there is some light there. What does it take to find it? It takes a little bit of focus. It takes a little bit of discipline. It takes a little bit of patience. It takes us from going outside of ourselves to inside of ourselves and settling ourselves to find the light in a dark situation. And that goes for a dark situation in life as well. We have to be very disciplined and focused to find that light. Our animal friends are amazing at this. Many of them face such dark situations in their life. But if you read their expressions, they are looking for the light, and they're finding the light even in the darkest of situations. Difficult as it may be, I will tell you that I've gone to vigils for animals that are about to enter a slaughterhouse. And I will tell you, that is the darkest it comes, and they know what's happening. But I could see the light in their eyes, the gratitude in their eyes when you're there for them. For us too, we must find this light in every dark situation, and it's possible, and it's aided by being in a connection with animals that are in a similar situation themselves. Connect with them, identify with them. You will find the light in your situation too. Where there is sadness, joy. Where there is sadness, joy. St. Francis obviously paints a picture here that we are all familiar with as well. Sadness, and then looking for joy. It is said that happiness is only found within, and I believe that. Looking for happiness outside of ourself is usually a recipe for failure. So we must look at happiness inside of us. Where does it reside within our heart, within our soul? What brings us happiness? And that is what gets us out of most sadness type situations. Now, I say that we find it within and we find it on our own, but God resides within each one of us. And maybe finding the God within us will bring that happiness to light that much more readily. And yes, turning back to our animal friends, they have God within them as well. Very much so. More so maybe than us. So again, identifying with our animal friends that have a much more easy time finding God within themselves and happiness within themselves may give us what we need to find that joy in sad situations. Grant that I may not so much to seek to be consoled as to console. Well, my friends, once again, St. Francis hits upon something here that resides within us as well. We all have people or animals in our life that have experienced the loss. When we put ourselves out there to console them, it is an interesting mix of emotions. I've done this many times. The mix of emotions are there's a lifting of ourselves to a place where we feel at peace because we know we're being there for somebody. And we do that by not trying too hard, just by being present. And we could feel that elevation of ourselves, can't we? In those situations where we offer consolation to somebody who has experienced any type of loss in their life. But then there's that drain that we feel too. That drain that Jesus felt when his cloak was touched by the woman who was hemorrhaging. And there we see that interesting mix of emotions, being lifted up, but also being drained somewhat. And what does that do for us? That brings out the real us. That brings out the real us where we know that we have the ability to console others. And then in the times where we need it, it's there for us that much more readily. So consoling others really does give us that lift. And when we feel that mix of emotions that I just described, you know you're on the right track. Well, my friends, we are going to leave it there, as the saying goes. We have covered make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. And today we went through where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. And, O divine Master, grant that I may not so much to seek to be consoled as to console. And on Friday of this week, Friday, September 13th, we will conclude the prayer of St. Francis with the final phrases in his most famous prayer. The most important thing is that we take something from this prayer and we apply it to our own self. We apply it to our heart, to our soul, and how we can make this a more peaceful and compassionate world for animals and people. And that is my hope as we continue this time together. I always welcome your comments and your thoughts. I appreciate them. But as I always say, I appreciate you being here with me, and I sincerely do. I want to wish you all a wonderful Monday, and I will be back here tomorrow, maybe a tad bit earlier than 8 o'clock, for a scripture video, probably about 10 minutes to 8. I have some grandfather duties to do tomorrow at 8 o'clock. All right, then. Have a great Monday, everyone, and I'll see you back here tomorrow.